Hello everybody, welcome back to Frontier Patriot for another Chew and Chat. Today Justine has made a blackberry pie.
A blackberry pie from no particular historic recipe, just because I wanted a blackberry pie. And you know what? I'm sure they had those back then too. Blackberries, wild blackberries, are native to every single continent except Antarctica.
I wonder why.
So they are also technically native to North America. And they were a very important part of the diet of Native Americans even before explorers came over. So blackberries, their history in the United States goes back very, very far.
And they're very delicious.
Very, very delicious.
I love blackberries.
Yes.
I just pick them and eat them.
Oh,
right there off the bush.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing. They're better like that, but wild blackberries are not even in the same category as the blackberries you get from the store.
The blackberries from the store, they're like really big, aren't they?
They're really, really big.
But they're not very flavorful.
They're double the size, maybe even 3 times the size. To me, they're bitter, they're sour, they don't have as much flavor. They're just sour. And I really don't like them. And I feel sorry for anyone out there that has never experienced wild blackberries or never will, because you might not like blackberries in your whole life because you think that that's what they taste like, the ones from the store. That's not what they taste like. They've been bred to be bigger because people...
But not sweeter.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess people are kind of... I don't know what word to use, a little ignorant about food sometimes, where it's like, oh, that berry's bigger, therefore I'm going to buy it, even though it has no flavor.
Bigger isn't always better in this case with food.
No, with food it's not. It's about quality and not quantity.
So these are naturally sweet. They're really good.
They are.
And I'll eat them if they're just a little bit of red still yet, and they're not even tart.
Yeah.
That's how sweet they are.
Yeah, the thing about wild blackberries is they're not sour at all, and they're not bitter at all. Right. And they also surprisingly don't have a bunch of those little tiny seeds that get stuck in your teeth either.
Yes, but they do got a bunch of tiny little thorns that always get you.
That's the bad part about it, is the bushes have thorns like something you've never experienced before. I mean, worse than a rose bush.
Every rose has its thorn.
Every blackberry has its thorn.
Yes, yes. Well, hey,
bad.
I'm going to scoop me up a piece of this. She's got a piece. I don't have any yet.
Here we go.
Give me that.
Take it.
Thank you.
I've already had some of this, as you can see.
And I am predicting that this pie will not last this entire Chew Chat.
That would be absolutely insane if you could eat an entire pie.
It's been a while since I've done it, but I think I can do it. What do you guys think?
I'd be worried about your health.
I've made it this far, haven't I?
Now, I will say, I wish that I had more blackberries to put in this pie, but we foraged for these, and we spent hours trying to get as many as we possibly could, and we ran out. Like, there just weren't any more that were ripe enough. There were a lot that were that bright red. First, the wild blackberries are red like raspberries, and then they turn black when they're ready, and there just weren't any more that were ripe.
Well,
so,
you know who we can blame for that?
Who?
My dad.
Yeah, his dad.
My dad picked like 2 gallons of them the other day. I made a blackberry pie, and then he said, hey, look at this. And then so we went down there and tried a little piece.
Anyway, yeah, we went down there, we tried a little piece of his pie, and it was absolutely amazing. He was like, I know a place that you guys can go and pick all these wild blackberries. So we went there the next day, and he wiped it all clean, so there just wasn't many left there. So I'm going to write a recipe. I always translate the recipes, well, when they're historic, I do. But for this, I will also write in the top pinned comment of the video on early Americans so you guys can see it. I'm going to put slightly more blackberries in that written down recipe than I actually put in here. Just however much you can get, you know, it's wild foraged food. So.
By the way, if you want to see Justine make this pie and pick the blackberries and get stuck by stickers, please go to Early American. That is our main YouTube channel. Over there, we cook the food. Over here, we eat the food.
Ding.
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 Mmm. That's good.
I want to give a shout out to God for all of the absolutely amazing edible foods that he has put on this planet, like wild blackberries and all of the other amazing things that are just absolutely perfect the way that nature made them. They don't need to be bred to be something that they're not. This is absolutely amazing how it is. It's so simple as it is. It's just blackberries, sugar, and flour, and basically that's it, really, as far as the filling goes. But it's just naturally amazing. I mean, you really don't need any of the extra stuff because nature has made such an amazing item. These beautiful, beautiful blackberries that it's just complementing the blackberries. That's it.
That's how it is with everything in life. Everything's just beautiful the way it was made.
Yeah. You are beautiful the way you were made.
Yep. Don't need to go changing stuff and make it bigger, better.
No.
Don't get me wrong, I like big muscles, but...
When you do that, when they breed things to get bigger, off like food, oftentimes the flavor of it goes away.
Mm-hmm. They haven't figured that part out yet.
Right.
I love this, and some people might be like, oh, that's burnt, or oh, that's undercooked. This is perfect for me. I love crunchy crust. I'm a crust guy. I love the crust, and the best part of it is the crunchy part on top, and underneath where it's soggy from the juice.
Yep. So you at home, make it however you want. I just made it the way Ron wants because I quite like this man. Actually, we have an announcement to make about quite liking each other.
We have a wedding date.
Yes, we finally do. Go.
Set.
May the 11th of next year, 2024, so next spring, we are going to get married. You can come if you'd like. Now, we've made some changes. We were going to have it at Fort Duchard.
Yes.
That's this early 18th century fort that's over in Illinois that's right across the Mississippi River from us. But
logistically, that is
it
tough.
wouldn't have worked.
It's in the middle of nowhere. Electricity for food and lighting and stuff. It's in small amounts over there, so it would take a lot of extension cords and a lot of hassle.
We also realized the fact that it is a state site, so they're very, very strict about when people have weddings there.
Yep.
You have to get there the day of, set everything up the day of, and then take everything down the same day. And there can't absolutely be anything left behind the next morning.
And that's hard for just 2 people to do. And keep in mind, this thing is 75 miles around the river. So if we forget something, we're going to come all the way back.
We have to take the ferry. They actually have a ferry that goes, but it's $15 each way.
So
expensive.
It's just going to be a hassle. So
yeah, so we moved it.
A new solution. We're going to get married in St. Genevieve in the historic district at the Bold Duke House.
Where we work.
The Center for French Colonial Life, who sponsored our last video, they've been kind enough to offer us the backyard and grounds there to do the wedding there. So it'll be a beautiful outdoor ceremony. They're on the back porch of the house, and we'll have the tents set up, and there's plenty of power hookup and water hookup, and there's bathrooms. There's a paved parking lot.
Yes.
There's there'll be lighting, so it'll be really convenient.
It'll work out better. And
if we need ice, we can run to the store. That's like a quarter of a mile down the road.
In our period clothes, yes, it won't be the first time.
It's just way easier.
The way I thought about it was the site director, Jeff. He's our landlord too in the drama videos. He's a very good friend of ours. He's the director of that museum, the Center for French Colonial Life. So he's really cool and really casual about, oh, if you guys can get it 90% cleaned up, and if you don't finish until the next morning, it's okay. You know, so I feel like there's a lot less stress if we do it at the Bold Duke House. The Bold Duke House was built in the 1780s to the 1790s.
There's 2 parts of it where it was added on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And right next to it is the Lemaire House, which was built, I think, about 1820.
That was his granddaughter's house.
Exactly.
The Bold Duke Lemaire House.
Exactly. So we actually worked there, and we've been working there for a couple years. So we know the lay of the land. So if you guys want to come to our wedding, it's next May 11th. Now here's the downside to it. At Fort Duchard, that place is absolutely ridiculously huge. So there was really no limit on the number of people that we could have had. Not
to interrupt you, but you know what else is ridiculously huge? This piece of pie.
Whoa, yeah.
Carry on.
But the Bold Duke House has a small yard. So we now officially we have to cap off the number of people that can come because it's just physically impossible to fit that many people there without it just being silly. Like you would just stand perfectly straight and you can't turn around. So we think that the most we can possibly get in that yard is 250 people.
Maybe 275 if someone to stand. So
if you're real skinny.
So so obviously, family and friends is the first come first served deal. So whenever we get our list figured out with that, we'll have more of an exact number, and I think I'll make some kind of thing on the on my website to where you can click and say you're coming, and please only click if you're absolutely coming.
Yeah, because you'll take a spot from someone else.
Because we might only have 100 spots or 125 spots, so we want to make sure somebody who's actually going to be coming gets that spot.
Yeah, it'll probably be about between 100 to 130 of you guys. You guys can come to our wedding. I'm sorry that there's a cap on it now.
Insurance reasons.
Yeah,
fire code.
I wish that there wasn't. I wish we could literally have everybody come, but it's just physically impossible. If you've ever been in the Bolduc house before, if you've ever been to St. John, you know that yard is not that big, and it's surrounded by a fence, and there's a street surrounding it, like with cars and everything, so there's just physically nowhere to go. So we're gonna do probably about 250 people, and I think probably 100 to 150 of those will be you guys, and that does not include probably people from that watch the channel that I really have seen have been super nice to us over the last year or two. Like those of you out there that comment on every single video, and I've seen you, and I notice you, and I remember you. Don't think I don't. So you guys are, if you can make it, I completely understand if you can't, because we live in Missouri, maybe you live in New York, so I completely understand if you can't. But you get VIP status, so you will never be cut out. People out there like Carrie, like Wafer, Michael, Lee, all you people. Jim, Chris.
Yeah, Chris is there every time.
All you people, we know you. We see you every week. And we will not forget you. So if you guys want to come to the wedding, there's not ever going to be a cutoff for all you guys out there that have been commenting every week.
Well, Michael will already be there. He's going to be part of the security detail.
We're signing you up, Michael.
The militia is in charge of security.
Yeah, with muskets and everything.
Yeah.
So... yeah, but then the rest, like the other 150 seats that we'll have available will just be for whoever signs up first, probably. So yeah, and you're the first ones to hear about that date, May 11th. We haven't announced it anywhere else on my channel yet. Once we have like a website set up, like he said, where we can have the RSVP thing, where you can just say you are coming for sure, then I will announce it, and then people can start signing up.
Yeah. We'll get that set up and we get some more details and stuff. You know, It's a little less than a year away, so.
Yeah, we still have a lot of time.
Yeah, we should definitely have that set up by fall. And for sure winter by that time, and that's plenty of time ahead of notice to make it to a wedding.
Yeah, I would say so. The bad part about signing up for a wedding when it's a year away is you don't know where your life's going to be a year from now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you sign up for it way too far ahead, you might get really excited and sign up for it already, but maybe a year from now something happens and you can't make it anymore. It's better to have it where it's only, I don't know, 6 months.
You know, we might just wait till January 1st to open the thing to sign up. That way, so you'll know kind of where your calendar is.
Yeah, that's right. You'll know where your calendar is. We don't want you to overbook over a doctor appointment or visiting your family or something like that.
When I book a wedding, because I'm a photographer, I do not book anything more than 18 months out because I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know what's going to happen.
And you're the photographer.
Yeah. So, because obviously there's sometimes things come up. I've never canceled anybody, but I really don't want to have to kick myself in the rear end if I do something for, 120 bucks whenever somebody calls and says, hey, I got a wedding and I can make $3,000, but I've already signed up for the smaller thing. It's like, dang. So I really try to keep mine tight. A year.
18 months.
Yeah. A year and a half.
Yeah, it's just smarter like that.
That's the way I do it. Some people, they'll book 5 years ahead. It's like, I don't know where I'm going to be. I might not even be alive. I might run for president. Who knows?
Y'all might be divorced by then. You haven't even gotten married 5 years from now. That's a long engagement.
Actually, I did have that happen one time.
Really? Story time?
Unfortunately.
Story time.
I don't really know the story.
Oh, but tell us what happened.
Oh, so it was 2019 they booked me to get married, and then in 2020 they said they weren't getting married anymore.
Oh, that's really sad.
Well, I think that happened with a lot of people in 2020 and 2021.
Oh, during COVID.
They were stuck in their houses, and it's like, okay, I hate this person.
Wait, you actually fart and burp? This relationship's over. Is dead.
Oh, there ain't no dairy in this. Whatever. I got some notes here.
Got some notes here. And thank you in advance for coming to our wedding if you are free to and you want to. Thank you. It'll be fun. Everyone will be in 18th century clothes. Optional, not mandatory though.
And if you don't have 18th century clothes, wear whatever century you have. If you got 19th century, 20th century, 21st century.
1920s.
If you got 20th century, 21st century, or if you're feeling frisky and want to go what you think's going to be in the 22nd century, wear some tin foil.
This is going to be the weirdest wedding ever. Why do you have to say that?
It's a time travel wedding.
Okay.
It's not a destination per se with a place, but a destination of time.
Yeah, imagine telling someone, Mom, we're going to have a beautiful destination wedding. Where at?
It's
Missouri?
It's in 1783. That's where it's at.
But we're actually going as Rev War, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, late 18th century. So, anyways, let's get into this week in history.
Okay.
There's actually quite a bit of birthdays on this one. It's strange. Anyways, for July 16th in 1780, the Residence Act establishes the District of Columbia as the new capital of the United States of America.
What year was that?
That is in 1790. Did you know that George Washington was the only president to not live in the White House?
Because it wasn't done being built.
That's right. He died, and he wasn't president anymore either.
Oh, yeah.
But
that's true.
There was no White House whenever he was president. Next, for July 17th, this is a birthday to John Jacob Astor, who was born in 1763 and lived till 1848. He was the first multi-millionaire in America.
First self-made.
Yes, he was.
Multi-millionaire.
And he made most of his fortune through the fur trade and through drug dealing. Basically.
Welcome to America. That's what I'm talking about.
He sold opium to China.
And he was a fur trader.
And fur trade. He sold furs that came from Canada and the western part of the United States. He sold all that to Europe and made a lot of money. And he was actually competing with the Madison Bay Company and a couple of the other big companies. So he was a self-made man. Now back then, opium wasn't like a really big thing.
No,
like
it was very casual.
Today it's don't do it, but back then they were let's smoke it.
Back then it was almost like tobacco. Like you could just gone to the store and gotten some opium. Hey, put it on your teeth and babies, gum. Like seriously, they prescribe it for anything.
Which brings me to my next point: don't do drugs. Say no.
And his name, John Jacob, made me think, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, his name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout, there goes John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Yeah.
All right.
Well, you better start working on that pie. You promised our fans you were going to finish this pie.
Well, I got to finish reading these first. Okay. I have another birthday. Now, this lady lived to be really old, and there's people that's lived older than her by now, but at this point in America, she was known for being the oldest lived woman.
Oldest confirmed.
Confirmed. So, Rosa Jackson Lumpkin, she was an African-American woman. She was born in 1876, and she died in 1991 at 115 years old.
Oh, that's amazing.
She was from Flint, Georgia. I have no idea where Flint, Georgia is.
I know where Flint, Michigan is.
I've heard of that one, but...
So,
you're from Flint, Georgia? You might have heard of this one.
That's really incredible.
Next up, I have another birthday. July 19th, 1894, Percy Spencer is born. Now, he is an American inventor. He died in 1953. Any ideas what he might have invented?
Okay.
We all have one. We all use it.
Okay, what year was he born again?
He was born in 1894.
1894.
So there was a very primitive car at that point, and a telephone, and a light bulb. Okay,
so there was some technology. This says he invented something to do with, technology.
Yeah, possibly.
Narrow it down. It has something to do with food, doesn't it?
It has something to do with food.
And technology.
Leftovers. What do you do with leftovers?
You heat them up.
You heat them up. What do you use to heat them up with?
Don't you tell me this man born in the 1890s, or he invented the microwave.
He did.
And he's an American?
Yep. For all of you who know that song by Dire Straits, microwave oven and color TV.
This is like a dinner and a show right here.
It is.
We're singing for you.
He invented the microwave, which a lot of people thought was toxic and nuclear and gonna give you cancer in your food.
Maybe, I kind of wonder if maybe back then, in the very beginning, it might have been.
It's sending microwaves through your food, so maybe.
But nowadays, so my mom is, any of you guys out there, your mom might have said this too. If you stand too close to the microwave, you'll get radiation, you'll get cancer. Well, good news is modern microwaves do not leak like that.
So the old ones probably did leak.
I do wonder if the old ones did leak, and that's where that old wives' tale comes from, but the new ones do not. If there's even the slightest little crack, it just won't work. But any of you guys out there, do you know, like when the microwave was first invented, did it actually leak
that? I didn't write
anything
down.
Out of it?
I should have done that. You look that up and get back to us on
Yes,
that.
please do.
Alright.
Next.
I have, on July 21st, 1865, in the market square of Springfield, Missouri. So this is some Missouri history for you.
Okay.
Wild Bill, who was a lawman and he was a soldier in the Federal Army during the Civil War. And
Bill.
He was also a gambler and a gunslinger.
Boy, he sounds like quite the agreeable character already. Wild Bill.
He was a good guy. He was an American folk hero. In 1865, he shot and killed the other gambler and gunslinger at the time, who was actually an ex-Confederate soldier, but he killed him over some money. His name was Davis Tutt. And this situation is known as the first and true beginning of the Wild West showdowns. Like,
whoa.
Get outside.
You're telling me the Wild West showdown started in Missouri?
That's what it claims to be.
In the Midwest?
Well, remember, the gateway to the west is St. Louis.
That's true.
Springfield's on the other end of Missouri, so that's the west.
So I'm still failing to see how this guy was a good guy, but I'll take your word for it.
Because he killed a bad guy.
They're both gamblers. What are you talking about? They're both in it.
Okay. My next one, there's a little bit more of Western cowboy type history, if you will. And also on July 21st in 1873, Jesse James and his brother robbed their very first train. And that happens up in Adair, Iowa.
In Iowa? Wow. Didn't Jesse James come through Missouri?
Yeah, wasn't he from Missouri? I don't know a lot about the cowboy era, so forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but I think he's from Missouri.
Who was that one guy that at Merrimack Caverns, he jumped off of a waterfall to get away from the police?
That's him.
That was Jesse James?
That's Jesse James.
Okay, so if you guys are ever in Missouri...
Well, he came through St. Genevieve, too, and robbed a bank.
Yeah, he robbed a bank in St. Genevieve, Missouri.
I'm pretty sure he's from Missouri.
Anyone out there, do you know where was Jesse James born? But anyway, Merrimack Caverns in Missouri, the most coolest cave you'll ever be in. It looks like Batman's cave or something. The ceiling is so high.
It's got those daggers hanging down.
The ceiling is so high. But anyway, there's a river running under there, and there's a waterfall, and you can't see it. You can just hear it. It's in the distance. Apparently, Jesse James went down there with a donkey.
Really?
Yeah, he went there with a donkey. He was trying to escape from the police. The police were after him. They were on his tail. And so he abandoned the donkey in the cave, and he jumped in this river, and he went down the waterfall in pitch black.
That's scary.
In a cave, off the waterfall. I don't know if he had some intel, like someone told him, yeah, that waterfall goes out outside. He just took it on faith value. But he made it out alive in one piece, and the cops came there a little too late, but man, that guy was brave and crazy.
I've been there, and I wouldn't do it with the fancy lights they got on in there.
Yeah. You know, they say fact is stranger than fiction. It really, really is. History is absolutely incredible. American history is wild. Mm-hmm. It's like a movie. I mean, it's crazy. it's just so overwhelming that it's really hard to know where to begin with American history, because every state has like 50 million things that happened in it. I mean, every state can be the size of a European country depending on the state. So it's just overwhelming to look at U.S. history and be like, where do I even begin?
There's a lot of history here. And there's a lot of forgotten history too.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of people that lived lives that were so incredible we can't even put them into words. Next!
Speaking of that, this guy is covered up by Lewis and Clark. So this is a little bit of hidden history.
Yeah.
Or at least for me personally, because I did not know this.
Yeah, you won't learn about this in school.
On July 22nd in 1793, Alexander Mackenzie reaches the Pacific Ocean, making him the first person to go from the Atlantic coast to the Pacific coast in North America.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Of the Mackenzie clan. He must have been Scottish.
He was. He was visiting here in America, and then did some fur trading and exploring.
My Scottish ancestors' names, if I remember correctly, is Macmillan.
Macmillan?
Macmillan.
Macmillan.
Not McMillan.
Like watermelon?
Macmillan!
Macmillan!
With an I! It's Macmillan.
Macmillan.
My dad's side is all Scottish until the 1800s when they moved from Scotland to Germany. And then they moved to America. I don't know. I'd have to ask them.
Maybe they
200 years ago.
Maybe they wanted better food. They wanted some bratwurst and or some schnitzel.
Yeah, Scottish food's probably really good too. But so a Scottish immigrant to the United States, he was actually the first guy to go to the coast.
Recorded.
Yeah, but here's what makes him different from Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark still gets all the credit because their mission was to actually map out a way to go there and to get back, and also they were mapping out all the animals and the plants that they saw along the way. So they were on an actual like government mission to create a route, an established route. Whereas this guy didn't make a route that was recorded that by the U.S. government. They actually used it and built roads and whatnot later. So, but it's still really cool to know that there was a guy who made that incredible long trip.
I'm curious if he did it alone or if he had a whole team like Lewis and Clark did. Because Lewis and Clark, they wouldn't have made it without their team.
No.
With all the provisions?
No. And you know who was the most important person on the Lewis and Clark expedition, arguably?
Sacagawea?
Sacagawea.
Oh, Sacagawea.
Yeah, she was, and that is how you actually pronounce her name. She was the most important person on that trip because if it wasn't for her, she was the translator. So Lewis and Clark, on multiple points during their trip, they ran out of supplies and they didn't know where to go. So Sacagawea, she went to the Native American tribes and she got equipment, and she also got food rations from them, and she got local information about where to go. So if it wasn't for her, Lewis and Clark would have been very lost. And she had a baby with her.
She did.
She did. She had a baby with her. I think she was married to a French trader.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And she was very young.
Every time I hear her name, I think of that movie, Night at the Museum, with Teddy Roosevelt, played by Robin Williams. And he's like, Sacagawea. He can't say her name right.
Sacagawea. That's how it actually would have been pronounced back then. We say, what do they say? Sacagawea?
Yeah, Sacagawea.
Yeah, but that's like a butchered American way of saying. Oh my gosh, where'd this pie go?
Would you like some more pie?
Yeah. I cannot believe he is seriously eating an entire pie.
They want to see a show.
It's dinner and a show. That'll be enough. Thank you. Do you have any more This Week in History facts?
That is it for This Week in History.
Okay. It was a pretty good one.
Although, next year, This Week in History on this week is the day that Ron and Justine announced their wedding date.
And next May 11th is when we actually will get married.
We're making history.
At least in our family we are.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I like this.
Good.
Now, I will say, this would be even better.
Here we go.
If it was cold.
Yeah.
I am a cold pie kind of guy. There's people who like it hot right out of the stove. There's people who like it at room temperature. Then there's people like me who like it ice cold.
I like it cold too.
Do you really?
I do like it cold. But it's July.
Ain't happening.
And we don't have that technology at this moment in this cabin. So it's on the warm side. It's not hot, but it's a little warm.
Now, if they want to make something cold in July, they could go to the ice house and stick this in there. Or they could stick it in a spring house.
Yeah.
Because both places are cold. Actually, a spring house is more like a refrigerator. It gets, what, like 60 in there, maybe 50? And then the ice house is obviously, you know, cold enough to hold ice.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw it here first. Ron Rayfield actually kept his word, and he finished the pie. I had one slice, and that little tiny bit I just had, and he's almost done with the last slice. Wow, really good. Mind blown.
They're really good.
I'm glad you like it. It's healthy-ish because, you know, blackberries are very good for you. They're rich in antioxidants.
You know, when we were picking blackberries for this video down at my dad's property, we found an abundance of
elderberries.
Elderberry. They're everywhere.
Oh my, I'm so jealous.
And they're just loaded with the little berries on them.
Yeah.
But they're still little green ones.
Yeah, so hopefully in August or September they'll be ready, and I can go nag your dad about harvesting those elderberries, and then maybe I can come here and make elderberry pie.
I like the sound of that.
We are obsessed with elderberries. Like, we're not exaggerating or anything. We love elderberries. Let me just put it like that. Elderberry jam, elderberry pie, any kind of dessert that has elderberry in it, we love it. We've had elderberry tea before.
Yeah,
elderberry
that was
syrup.
pretty good.
Anything elderberry, we probably have had it. Elderberry gummies.
I do like the jelly, or the jam.
Oh yeah,
on
it's
a biscuit.
so good. Now, if I can describe to you what elderberries taste like, they taste like a mixture of blackberries, actual wild good blackberries, and maybe blueberries?
Yeah,
with the tiniest little hint of raspberry in there. So it's like the essence of berry. But it's not sour at all, it's not bitter at all. It's like the best berry you never knew that you needed in your life.
That's really good for you.
It is very, very good for you. They say it helps your immune system, and you all might be thinking, oh, my mom made me drink elderberry syrup and to help when I was sick, and it didn't taste that good, and I don't like it. Well, it's like medicine. I mean, elderberry syrup, it's super concentrated, but if you make it in a pie, it don't taste quite that strong. It's really, really good. Wow, he just has a little bit of the crust left.
I can't do it.
Okay.
I can't do it. I'm so full.
Ron, you've done your duty.
I hope you all enjoyed that.
I hope you're proud of him, as I too am proud and a little bit concerned.
Some people like to watch the people eat. I don't understand it myself. I don't like watching it, but people like watching me.
He likes eating. He just likes eating.
I should have stopped before that last piece, but that's
Are you really, really full now?
I'm really, really, really full now, yeah.
Are you surprised to hear that?
Get out the beef tea. My tummy hurts.
Oh gosh, he wants more food. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. We are going to sign off now. It was a pleasure to be here with you all today.
And we're hoping next week on 2 Chat we have some wood on the foundation at the house to show you.
Yeah.
We're battling the heat right now. We just got done doing the rest of the backfill. So the floor drains are working. Because there's been some rainstorms that come, and we're ready to start throwing some wood on this thing.
I actually have a little mini video to show you guys about Ron driving a Bobcat when we were doing some excavation work there last week or so. So I'll be putting that up on Frontier Patriot
My
shortly.
legs are still sunburnt like that. I wore shorts that day, and I was operating a Bobcat. If you know anything about it, it's like sitting in a chair all day, and it was bright and sunny, and my legs looked like some overcooked hot dogs at the end of the day.
Yes.
It was painful. It's still painful. It's been a few days and they're still red and they hurt.
Hot dog Ron.
I got hot dog legs.
He's hot dog Ron. Okay guys, we're going to say bye. We'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you everybody so much.
I look forward to it every week. It is so fun being here. And I like watching Ron eat copious amounts of food and then complaining after. I do. I'm one of those people. I just get to watch it live. My poor victim here.
It's like the freak show circus here.
Yeah, it is.
I'm the man that got in the cage eating.
Eating pie.
Eat it or die, okay? Look at him. Look at him eat.
Throws things at you. Okay, guys. We'll see y'all later. Take care now.
Bye-bye, guys.